you tell them one thing. Just win, baby.
What is going on, Raider Nation? It's your boy Simone Raider back at it again with another video, another game recap, and we beat the Denver Broncos 32-31. At the end of the game, we actually did not choke the game away, and we are sitting at 8-8 right now. But honestly, I didn't really care too much about this game, but I did watch it just to support this team. But man, that was a tough one to actually watch. Even though we won the game, there was a lot of downs in this game. Frustrating, turnovers. We had 2 fumbles and 2 interceptions from Derek Carr. Bad play calling overall, especially offensively, in the red zone when we were there. We just drew up some horrible plays. Even though we scored the touchdown, we got penalized, got pushed back, and on a 3rd and long, what kind of plays are we drawing up, man? These screen plays, these little dump off plays is really frustrating to actually watch. And it does suck because you're rooting for this team to go put points on the board when they should, and they just don't. Our red zone play calling is horrendous, and we actually scored in the red zone at the end of the game. But I'm gonna get to that in just a bit. But I do want to start off this video with saying, man, this 2020 Raiders season has been one of the most craziest roller coaster rides that I have ever been in. At the beginning of the season, we know that we started off 6-3, and I know I keep talking about this in all of my videos, but how can you not talk about it? We started off the season 6-3 on an all-time high. We have all of our hopes up. Even though our defense was suspect throughout all those games, we still found ways to win the games, and we ended off this season 8-8. Real mediocre season to a season that was starting off really hot, and we were all thinking that we were a playoff caliber team, or even a team that could maybe go to the Super Bowl or even contend for a Super Bowl. But that was far from the truth. Throughout the second half of the season, we've seen how bad our defense actually was, especially against teams that we should have won. We lost, and on the back of our defense. I know some of the games weren't really on our defense, but most of it was. And on top of that, this second half of the season really showed how horrible John Gruden's play calling was. It was so bad that we couldn't even score in the red zone. We started struggling in the red zone, a part of the field where we were doing just fine in the beginning of the season. We were struggling with weapons that we have. We have Nelson Aguilar, we have Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, even Derek Carr. All those weapons that we have on offense, and even Henry Ruggs, who we have not even utilized throughout the whole season. We have struggled in the red zone. It's just unacceptable, and we have got to change a lot of things going into next season, starting with that defense, our horrendous defense. But John Gruden is not off the hook with this one as well. His play calling is horrible. Derek Carr, I love Derek Carr, but in this game, I just wasn't feeling it, honestly. Even though he found ways to drive down the field, I wasn't feeling it. And I am a huge Derek Carr supporter, and you guys know that. And I know that this whole season does not fall on Derek Carr. Derek Carr has done what he had to do this season to win games. And we should be a playoff team, but our defense has been holding us back, and our play calling has been holding us back. But this was the only game that I actually wanted some type of change. I wanted a change of quarterback just to, light a little spark in this team. I don't know what it was, but I was hoping that we would have seen Marcus Mariota out there on a couple of drives, because Derek Carr was just dinking and dunking, due to the play calling. But there was times where he could have ran outside of the pocket, extended plays, but he just didn't do that. And that's something that we have in Marcus Mariota, which really frustrates me, because in a game like this where not a lot is on the line, why don't we go out there and put Marcus Mariota out there for a couple of drives, for a couple of plays, get his trade value up? As much as I want to keep Marcus Mariota, I don't even know if we're actually going to keep him this next offseason, whether we're going to trade him away, get a draft pick out of him. Knowing the Raiders, we might get a 5th or 6th round out of him. I hope that we could get something more than that. But, with the amount of money that we're paying Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota, I don't know if we're going to keep both of them going into next season. I hope we don't cut him. I hope we do keep him. But the only reason why I'm saying this is because the Raiders came out before the game and confirmed that Derek Carr is here to stay for 2021, and that they are not going to be moving on from him. So what does that mean for Marcus Mariota? Whether we trade him or whether we cut him, I don't know. And man, I love Derek Carr. Don't get it twisted, but I feel like we need a playmaker out there, somebody that can do the job by themselves if everything breaks down. And I don't think we get that from Derek Carr. But Derek Carr is still a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like he would be better elsewhere, and his talents could be taken up to the next level with a really good defense. So hopefully the Raiders can do that in this offseason by giving us some help on the defensive side. All right, so enough talking about the 2020 season overall, and let's get on to this game. Now, this game, there was a lot of milestones, a lot of accolades in this game that a lot of players, surpassed. So I'm going to start off with first, Josh Jacobs, surpassing the 1,000-yard mark, rushing back-to-back seasons. That's a huge accomplishment for him. Even though he's been having a sophomore slump this season, he found a way to surpass the 1,000-yard mark and tack on 2 touchdowns in this game. So congratulations to Josh Jacobs. And another player to talk about is Darren Waller. Shout out to Darren Waller for surpassing Tim Brown's record for the most receptions by a Raiders receiver in a single season with 105 receptions. That's crazy. So shout out to Darren Waller for being that #1 receiver and #1 tight end for this team. And we're not done there. Daniel Carlson has just surpassed Sebastian Janikowski for the most points scored in a single season by a Raider player with his 143rd point. That's just crazy, and congratulations to Daniel Carlson. He has been a really reliable kicker for this team this season, other than last week when he missed that extra point, but you know what? We're not going to talk about that. And last but not least, Jason Witten surpassing Tony Gonzalez for the most games played by a tight end with 271 games. That's crazy. And who knows if he's going to retire after this season or if he's going to return to Las Vegas for another season. So congratulations to all these players and their accolades in this game. Now let's talk about the game. Starting off this game, our run game was horrible. We couldn't get the run game going at all. After doing a great job in the last game against the Broncos running on the ground, Josh Jacobs and Devontae Booker couldn't run at all in this game. They were getting stuff on most carries until the end, until the fourth quarter. Josh Jacobs started picking it up and he scored 2 touchdowns for this team. Derek Carr starting off this game in the first half, he had 2 touchdowns, one beautiful one to Darren Waller and another one to Bryan Edwards, which is great to see. Congratulations to Bryan Edwards for getting his first touchdown catch in the NFL, and hopefully next season we could utilize him more. On top of that, even with Henry Ruggs as well. Now, Henry Ruggs did get taken out later on in this game. He got hit, fumbled the ball away, but it was a horrible hit, and he was out for the rest of the game. Jonathan Abram went down early in this game, came back, and then went down again. I don't know what to think about all of these secondary players, all of these players that we picked up like Damon Arnett, Jonathan Abram. It just seems like they just cannot finish games. Every single game, it seems like they go down, they come back, they go down again, they miss a couple of games, so on and so forth. Trayvon Mullen as well. The Raiders in this game had 4 turnovers, which is unacceptable. Derek Carr threw 2 interceptions. Not really his best day. And then we had 2 fumbles on the ground as well. Darren Waller had a fumble, which we don't really see that often. And Henry Ruggs, like I stated earlier, had a fumble as well. 4 total turnovers, but we were lucky enough that the Broncos only scored on 1 of those turnovers. Those other 3 turnovers, we either had them punt the ball or they only scored a field goal. Our defense held up for the most part in this game. They did give up a huge play to Jerry Jeudy at the end of the game, a 92-yard touchdown. I don't know what else to say about this defense, but this defense is horrible. We do play solid here and there on a couple of drives, but overall, our defense is just horrible, man. Corey Littleton stepped up in some ways in this game. Nicholas Morrow had a sack. Max Crosby had a sack as well. But overall, our defense is trash. Our offensive play calling is trash, and that falls on John Gruden. Hopefully next season we can open up this playbook much more and utilize a lot of these weapons to the best of their ability and not drop some dink and dunk plays on 3rd and longs, because those are just frustrating to actually watch. We were actually lucky to come away with the victory in this game, and Derek Carr overall had a solid game, and we know that he's going to be our quarterback moving forward. There's not much more that I could say that I haven't already said in this recap, but I hope that going into next season we could change a lot of things, because we're really going to need to do that if we want to go into the playoffs. And it just sucks because looking at the playoff picture, all the teams that made the playoffs, like the Browns, the Titans, the Ravens, and the teams that are in the hunt like the Dolphins, and just not seeing the Raiders in that picture really sucks, because we put ourselves in this position, which is frustrating, especially for Raider fans that have their hopes up every single season hoping for a different outlook. But yet again, it's a new year, same result. But this year we did finish off the season better than we did last season, so that's a plus, I guess. Overall, Raider Nation, what do you guys think about this game? Let me know your thoughts. Vent it out. What do you guys think about this 2020 Raiders group? I know it's not going to be a lot of positives. It's been a really frustrating season. All All right, Raider Nation, that is all I have for you guys today on this last game recap for this 2020 Raiders team. But I want to thank you guys, Raider Nations, for sticking with me and this channel throughout this whole 2020 season. And I can literally say that this is the first season on this channel that I have previewed and recapped every single game without missing a beat. I have not done that throughout this whole time I've been on YouTube. So I look at that as a milestone as well, and I look forward to building on that coming into the next season. So again, thank you guys for riding with me throughout this whole crazy roller coaster of a season. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please smash that like button. It does a lot for this channel. And if you're a Raider fan and you're watching this video for the very first time, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button just to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. And going into this off season, I got a lot of things planned for you guys, the Raider Nation. So I hope you guys stick with me throughout this whole off season. With that being said, until the next video, Raider Nation, this is your boy Some More Raider, and your boy is yeah.
And you tell them one thing. Just win, baby.